Good Erev Yom Tov, everyone. I stand here again, another Yom Tov coming in the shul by myself, giving a drasha that I should be giving on the Yom Tov, and the Kadosh Baruch Hu obviously wants that the drasha is said before Yom Tov. So we just do what Hashem wants us to do. That is our job. We're standing on the eve of the Yom Tov of Shavuos, Zman Matan Torah Seinu, Kabbalah Satoyu, where we received the Torah from Kadosh Baruch Hu on Har Sinai. I want to share with you two ideas. I believe they're practical, very practical ideas. You can share with your children, with your family, with your friends, and it will make the Shavuos a different experience. The idea is not just to go through the Yom Tovim again and again, and it gets to be by rote, but to infuse it with some chiddush, some new idea that you can make the Yom Tov a little more meaningful, a little more special, a little more unique. The first idea I want to share with you comes from Parshas Yisro. We laid it the first day Shavuos in the morning, Friday morning, Be'ezer Hashem this year. Shtein Pasuk Azoy. It says like this: Vayisu mi Refidim, the Yidden came from Refidim, Vayavoyu Midbar Sinai. And they came to the desert of Sinai, the place of Har Sinai, where they were going to receive the Torah in a number of days after. Vayachanu Bamidbar Vayochan Shom, Vayichan Shom, Yisrael Neged Ahar. Famous pasuk. And they come to the Midbar Sinai and they Yachanu Bamidbar, they camp out in that desert. Vayichan Shom Yisrael Neged Ahar. And the Yidden camped out by the mountain, by Har Sinai. The Mechilta on this pasuk is l'cha'ira darshaning what seems to be extra. There's nothing in the Torah that's extra. There are things that are seemingly extra. So it's one example over here. It appears, what's Vayisu mi Refidim? It's all extra. What do we need that for? That the Yidden are coming from Refidim. We know that they came to Midbar Sinai already. Why is the pasuk saying it again? So the Mechilta says as follows: Ma bi'asin the Midbar Sinai amanas l'kabel Torah. Just like them coming to the Midbar Sinai was with the unified goal of receiving the Torah. Kach nesiyos mi Refidim al das l'kabel Torah. So too, when they left Refidim, which was the previous place, their intention also was to Makabel the Torah. So don't just think that they wanted to Makabel the Torah, that was their goal when they got to Midbar Sinai. We should know, it's very important to know, the Torah is putting in seemingly extra words to tell us this very important lesson, this very important idea, that Zolf du Wissen, you should know, when they left Refidim, they also had in mind a unified goal to receive the Torah. Why is it so important for us to know that? Right, the Mechilta is addressing our question, what's this extra pasuk? And the Mechilta's answer, you should know a very important fact, that when the Yidden left Refidim, they also had in mind to receive the Torah. That was their kavanah. That was their intention when they left Refidim. Not just when they got to Midbar Sinai. But again, asks the Netziv, the Hamadavar, what is the Chiddush now? Why do we have to know that? What's so important about the fact that they left Refidim with the same kavanah in mind? And he quotes the famous Gemara in Bava Metzia that we've discussed a number of times, where the Gemara says, Gedolim Ma'isachia. It's a Gemara in Bava Metzia, and that Pei Hey and Beis, and the Gemara says that how great are the actions of Reb Chia? What did Reb Chia do? What was so great about what Reb Chia did? So the Gemara goes on to explain that Reb Chia saw that Torah was being forgotten from Klal Yisrael, so he went and he wove nets. And with these nets, he trapped Tzayid Tivya. He trapped a deer. Ibex is a machlokas, what tzvi is. He trapped the tzvi, and he went and he took the hide from the tzvi, and he tanned it, he made it into cloth, into parchment, and he wrote the Chamisha Chumshei Torah on that cloth, and he gave each one Breishis, a Shmois, a Vayikra, Bamidbar, Dvarim, to 5 different children, had them learn it, to learn with each other, and from there, Torah flourished. It was about to be lost. He set up an educational system, Rabbi Chia, and from him we have Torah today. Godol Gedolim Ma'isachia. Great are the actions of Rabbi Chia. So the question is, Rabbi Chia could have just gone to the marketplace and bought cloth and done the rest lishma. You don't have to trap the animal lishma and be mafshit and skin the animal lishma. The shame for the sake of the mitzvah of writing a chumash. It's enough. You tan it l'shma. You don't have to do it from before the ibud. Why did Rabbi Chia start from the beginning? This is the Nitziv's kasha. Says the Nitziv. El mishum shirotzer Rabbi Chia lahag v'koyach kedusha megillas. Rabbi Chia wanted to enlarge, increase the kedusha of these svarim, because he knew that the children who will learn from these svarim have the chance of bringing back Torah to Klal Yisrael and keeping it for the generations. So he wanted to infuse these chumashim with a special kedusha, with more kedusha. That the Torah should be able to affect the hearts of these children with more shefa, should be a larger effect. Torah is not just an intellectual pursuit. The kedusha of the sefer has an impact on the Yid who's learning it. Therefore, he decided to infuse the actions, the preparation of these chumashim with the proper kavanah, with kedusha, well before the Torah requires, well before the din demands. Shuha'ibud, which is the 10. The Lamad Rabbi Chia Mimikrazeh says that Nitziv, what's Rabbi Chia's source? Where did Rabbi Chia see that you can do this? Where did Rabbi Chia see that if you go early and you trap the animal for the sake of making a Megillah, making a Chumash that the kid should be able to learn, and then you skin it, and then you prepare it, where did he see that infuses it with more Kedusha? Says the Nitziv, V'lamad Rabbi Chia Mimikrazeh. He learned it from this pasuk. That the Torah is stressing to us, al pi the mechilta, that the Yidden already had that single kavanah, that single-mindedness, were going to receive the Torah already from Refidim. They didn't wait till they got to Midbar Sinai. They wanted to invest their journey with that Kedusha in order that they should be a greater clay kibul, receiving of the Torah, receptacle to receive the Torah. They should be more ready, more mukhshar, more able to receive the Torah. An unbelievable concept. So say it in one word. It's called hachana. It's called preparation. If you want to understand the shir that you're learning in yeshiva, the Rebbe is giving a shir, it's hachana sefer. You study 3 hours, 9 to 12, 9 to 1 sometimes, and then you go to the shir. And as much as you prepare for the shir, I'll understand the shir. The aside for Kabbalah Torah, the ability to Makabel Torah properly, is based on hachana. If we prepare ourselves, we see from this pasuk, we see from the Meister Reb Chia, that if you prepare earlier and earlier, that will infuse your actions with greater kedusha and lead to greater hatzlacha, to greater success. So the Meister are holding very close to Shavuos. By the time this video gets out, it could be ready within 24 hours of Shavuos. So, okay, so I blew it. Tafshin Pei 2020. I blew my chance to prepare myself for Shavuos, right? It's too close. I should have started Sfiras HaOmer. I should have started 48 days ago. That's what I should have done. But I didn't do that. So what now? Lamai said, we always say twice a year that Rabbi Yerucham Levavitz Zatzal, the Mashgiach from the Mir, would hang a petek, he'd hang a little note on the door to the Beis Medrash twice a year. And it would say on this note that I have a Kabbalah from my Rebbeim, Rabbi Yerucham would write, on these 2 days of the year, which was Erev Rosh Hashanah and Erev Shavuos, a Kabbalah to Mechaber Yom V'Layla with Talmud Torah, to connect the day and night, the outgoing day and the incoming day with Talmud Torah. Rosh Hashanah, I'm connecting the year, the actual year with Torah, so Tafshin Ayin Tes, Tafshin Pei, Tafshin Pei Aleph. We're being mechaber them with Talmud Torah. We're connecting them with Torah. So too Shavuos is the Rosh Hashanah for Talmud Torah. The Gemara Megillah says, and the Mishnah in Rosh Hashanah says it's the Rosh Hashanah for Peres HaElon, but it's also the Rosh Hashanah for Talmud Torah. And if we use these 2 days coming up as our hachana, if we miss the hachana for these days, but we can use these 2 days of Rosh Hashanah for Talmud Torah as hachana, as a hachana to prepare ourselves for the future, we would see gewaldige hatzlacha in the future with our Talmud Torah. What's hachana? How do I make it? How do I prepare myself? I look, what are the various areas of Talmud Torah? There's Chumash, there's Navi, there's Halacha, there's Hashkafa, there's Gemara, there's Medrash, there's Kabbalah. There are many aspects of Torah. What have I been involving myself in? What do I feel speaks to me? What can I relate to? We have to relate to all the Torah. But when we start off, we have to think, you start with the easiest. What calls to me? Chumash Rashi maybe the Orachaim HaKadosh's Pirush on the Chumash. The Chumash is very deep. Rabbi Hirsch, the Red English one, an unbelievable Pirush on the Chumash. There are so many Pirushim on Chumash that a person could read and become very connected. Gemara, there are many, many options. Baruch Hashem, we've seen since the beginning of this new cycle of Daf Hayomi, that has exploded in the Shtival. And the amount of Torah that's being learned is unbelievable. We have other programs. I don't have to list all of them, you know them. But find what speaks to you. And if there's something you want to learn, let me know about it. Maybe we can set up a chavrusa, maybe. Maybe we can set up a shir, and we can cause the Torah to become even greater. But it requires achana. I have to sit down and think, do I feel connected to Talmud Torah? If not, why not? What can I do to fix it? What do I want to learn? I have to make myself a goal. I have a goal now for the next year. From this Shavuos to next Shavuos. I have a goal for the next month. Tisha B'Av is coming up. Hopefully there'll be a Yom Tov. If not, there's halachas to learn. There's hashkav, there's ideas to learn. There's philosophy to learn. And we have to motivate ourselves to do the proper hachana. This is the yesod of the pasuk in Perek Tes pasuk Beis. Vayisu mirefidim vayavoy midbar Sinai. They left Refidim with hachana. A whole extra number of words in the Torah teaches us an important lesson. That's lesson number one. Prepare. Every Yid has to know, this was my hachana that I made for the coming year on Shavuos Tavshin Pei. Nekuda number two. Is the famous pasuk, Nasa v'nishma. Right? Nasa v'nishma. So if you look in the psukim, there's actually two psukim that are very similar with a slight nuance difference that makes a tremendous difference. In Perek Yutes, pasuk Ches. This is going back to Yisro. We just read pasuk Beis. The pasuk Ches goes like this. Zion says, Moshe already is going back and forth in Hashem and Klal Yisrael. He calls out to the elders. And he laid out everything Hashem commanded. The nation gathered together, answered together. Now you finish off the pasuk. Naseh. Vayoshev Moshe's divrei Amel Hashem, and Moshe brought back to Hashem what the nation said. I'm sure some of us might have gotten that wrong. They said, Kol asher divrei Hashem naseh. That's all they said. If you go to Perek Chavdalit, pasuk Zayin. In Parshas Mishpatim, where the Torah reviews again the Ma'amad Har Sinai, the events leading up to it, Vayikach Sefer HaBris, Moshe took the Sefer HaBris, and he read to them, Vos steht in the Torah, Vayonu kol asher dibar Hashem, Nasa v'nishma. Nasa v'nishma. In Perek Yutes pasuk Ches, Vayonu kol asher dibar Hashem, Nasa, that's all it says. In Perek Chavdalid, in pasuk Zayin, Kol asher dibar Hashem, it's not much the same words. Nasa v'nishma. So, a discrepancy. Did the Yidden say what we always know is Nasa v'nishma? Or did the Yidden say just Nasa? What did they say? So, the idea is as follows. We have 613 mitzvahs. Taryag mitzvahs. Now, if you think about it, many of us cannot fulfill, dare I say, a very large quantity of mitzvahs. You have Kohanim with access to a large number of mitzvahs we don't have, and definitely Bisman Habayis, we have Beis HaMikdash. There are many, many mitzvahs that have to do with the Beis HaMikdash. You have Levium, you have certain mitzvahs to the Melech that only the king can perform. Certain mitzvahs Sanhedrin, only Sanhedrin, the Bezdin, the Jewish court system, the judges can perform. Then you have people who have own land and they own houses, live in Eretz Yisrael, live outside Eretz Yisrael, own trees, don't own trees. So there are so many mitzvahs that no one Yid can really fulfill all the mitzvahs. And many, many Yidden have only a small amount, relatively speaking, of the 613 they can actually fulfill. So how do they connect to all these mitzvahs? How do I connect the Trumas and Ma'aser. If I can never take Truma, I'm not a Kohen, and I can't take Ma'aser Rishon, I'm not a Levi, and I can't even bring Ma'aser Sheni to Eretz Yisrael. I don't even live in Eretz Yisrael. So I'm mufka from all these mitzvahs. So how do we relate to them? So Meshech Chochmah says, based on two Gemaras, there are two ways to relate to the mitzvahs. The Gemara in Shavuos and Daf Lamed test teaches us the famous Yisod, the famous concept, Kol Yisrael Arevim Zelazeh. All the Yidden are Arevim, we're responsible for each other. That's why, if I fulfill taking my Dalet Minim, my Lulav and Esrog, and someone else didn't, I can make the bracha for him. And he can be Yoitzi, I can make the bracha again for him. Why? Because Arevim Zelazeh. If he has not yet fulfilled his mitzvah, on some level, I have not fulfilled my mitzvah. Kol Yisrael Arevim Zelazeh. We're all responsible for each other. So when our Kehanim fulfill Trumas and Ma'aser, and Levi can take the Ma'aser, and those of us who own houses fulfill the mitzvah of Makeh and Mezuzah. So we all get reward for that. We all get schar for that. The Netziv goes on to say, "Va'atem soin marisi odem atem." The pasuk in Yechezkel, the Navi refers to Klal Yisrael through Hashem as referring to as Adam, as one person. Shekola Umha Yisraelis says the Meshech Chochmah who Adam Echad is one person. This Meshech Chochmah is found in Perek Yotes pasuk Ches. So certain people like the heart, like the brain, like the arm, like the leg, all the Yidden comprise this body, this guf that's called Klal Yisrael. And by everyone doing their role, we all fulfill the mitzvahs. There's one way we can all fulfill the mitzvahs in that regard, when we're all together as one. There's another concept, how we can relate to all the mitzvahs. It's found in the Gemara Menachos and Daf Kuf Yud. The Gemara says in Menachos, and Daf Kuf Yud Aleph, says the Gemara that Kol Oisik B'Torahs Chatos, whoever learns the halachas of the Korban Chatos, the sacrifice of the Chatos, Ki'ilu Hikriv Chatos. It's as if he was makriv the Chatos. So we can't bring the Korbanos these days. We can learn. If you learn the halachas about the Torah, or we support those who are learning Torah, that gives us a connection to those mitzvahs that we otherwise can't fulfill. So we have these two tracks in Yiddishkeit. We have these two abilities to connect to all 613 mitzvahs. Either through arvus, that when my friend the Kohen is eating his truma, so it's like I'm eating the truma, I get the mitzvah for that. And the second way is by learning Maseches Trumas. I learn Maseches Trumas, and I get a connection to that mitzvah as well. Says the Meshech Chochmah, Lachein Mahalam, therefore, in Mishpatim, in Parashat Mishpatim, they said, Kol asher dibar Hashem nasa v'nishma, whatever Hashem says we're going to nasa, we'll do, v'nishma we will hear. Yeshim shenasa masha shayach atzleinu, yeshim nishma shenilma v'navim p'niyos ha'vilchasein v'chukasein. So the Yidden were saying, listen, I'll keep Shabbos, and I won't wear shatnez, and I'll take my dalet minim. That's nasa. And nishma was, I'll learn about the korban chatas. I'll learn about eating truma. I'll learn about putting a makkah at my house, even though I don't have a house. I don't have a house that can use the roof. I'll learn about the mitzvahs that I can't fulfill. Na'aseh v'nishma. Tosas pshat in na'aseh v'nishma. A novel idea. Aval kan, but here in Parshas Yisroi, what does it say? Anu kol ha'am yachtav kol asher dibar Hashem na'aseh. The nation answered together, Kol Am Yachtav. They answered together, Kol Asher Dibar Hashem Nasa. Not Nasa, just Nasa. Shebeklala Sa'am Ke'echad Kulam. Because here, it was Kol Ha'am Yachtav. The pasuk says that all the nation together answered Nasa. And when the Yidden are all together, and they're answering in one voice, they could say Nasa on all 613 mitzvahs. As we approach Shavuos, we have to realize that we have two Kabbalah Satoras. Two Kabbalah Satorah. There's one Kabbalah Satorah on the individual level, on the Yachid, and this is the Na'aseh v'nishma. I'll do the mitzvahs, I'll learn the mitzvahs that I have to keep, and I'll keep them. And the mitzvahs that I can't keep because it's not in my ability, I'm not a Kohen, I'm not a Levi, I don't own a house, I don't have a Makkah, I don't live in Eretz Yisrael, so I can't keep certain mitzvahs. Nishma, I'll learn the halachas. That's my personal Kabbalah. But there's also Kabbalah Satorah on the communal level, really on the national level, where all as one we say, Nasa, that will do all the mitzvahs by reaffirming our connection to all the Yidden in the world. all the different types of Yidden who fulfill mitzvahs, like that, have my connection to Torah mitzvahs. So to bring it down practically to our level, as we come in to Shavuos Tavshin Pei, in a sense, without the Kol Asher, the Kol Am Yachtav. We don't have the Kol Am Yachtav this year. We don't have the Gavaldig learning. Last year, we all remember last year. Hagishmak, the Sukkot B'nei Das, when the wee hours in the morning, who wanted to daven Shachris? Let's daven later. We'll go straight right with the Sukkah. Everyone remembers that Geshmak Sukkah we had here in this base medrash. This year, we're not going to have it. So we're Yechidim. So we have to have a Kabbalah Sayachid. We have to be Makabbalah Torah as an individual. What are my personal aspirations in Torah for this year? What's my goal this year in Torah? That's one. But there's also a Kabbalah of Nasa. There is also the communal Kabbalah that as a member of Klal Yisrael, I'm being makabel all the mitzvahs. And if we can kind of connect it to Shavuos more, there's a Kabbalah, we have to have a communal Kabbalah Satorah. A Kabbalah Satorah as a community together, realizing we're not just individuals, even though to a large extent during this pandemic we are, but Lamaisa, we're all one unit. And we have to think, what can I do to makabel Torah on the level of a community? What can we do as a community to makabel Torah? These are the two Kabbalah Satorahs that we are faced with this Shavuos. And every Shavuos, truth is, really it's by every Shavuos. So these are the two concepts I want to leave you with, wishing everyone a good Yom Tov, realizing that the Hatzlacha, the success we're going to have Be'ezer Hashem this year in Torah only comes from Machana. An inspirational speech, a nice pep talk is not going to do it. A person has to realize I'm a balachrayas, I'm a responsible person, I'm responsible when it comes to my parnasa, when it comes to my family, when it comes to my possessions. I must be responsible also when it comes to Torah. If you want to have true fulfillment in anything in life, it comes with hachana, with preparation. We should prepare ourselves properly for this coming year of Talmud Torah. Use these 48 hours of Shavuos to prepare ourselves for the coming year, as well as realizing we must make a Kabbalah Satorah on the individual level, a Nasa v'Nishma, make a Kabbalah, and we also must make a Kabbalah on the communal level. And what, as a member of this Kehillah, as a member of South Florida Jewry, what can I do? What kind of Kabbalah Satorah can I make to improve the Talmud Torah of the Tzibur? Wishing everyone a Gavaldige Yom Tov, a Torah-dige Yom Tov, a Gesundte Yom Tov, a Yom Tov full of bracha and atzlacha and ernst davening, good davening with kavana and family time. Chatz l'Hashem, chatz l'Chem, Shavuos, everyone agrees. And we should all be zoiche be'ez Hashem soon to come back together. And I can't wait to see all of our Kabbalah Satorah come into fruition.